my name is Folake, for those of you who do not know me. It's been a while, but I'm glad to finally be back on the channel. I am a beauty entrepreneur, and as of January of this year, I am a registered nurse. So today I am here to share with you guys how I passed the NCLEX on the first try. So if you're in nursing school now, you probably already know this, but what they're teaching you, nothing compared to what you're going to see in real life and also on the exam. Because on the exam, they want you to think of everything like in a perfect world. You know, say for example, you have all the nurses that you need on the unit, like, and we know in real life sometimes you're going to be short of nurses. So on the NCLEX, make sure you answer the questions in a way that everything is perfect. When you're taking the exam, make sure that you, first of all, take a deep breath. You're gonna see some of these questions and you're gonna be like, what is this? Like, literally, what is this? Take a deep breath. First off, read the question one time, read it another time if you have to. I highly suggest you do, actually. You want to try to build as much confidence as you can prior to going into the exam. Even like while you're studying, like, so I was doing practice questions, let's say, because my last semester had started August 2022. And so I was doing practice questions every day. If it wasn't every day, it was every other day, and it was only like 25, 30. So I started small because, like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm the type of person who needs more time. Like, when it comes to an exam, man, like, once you start nursing school, like, they have you, you know, thinking about rationales and how to process the questions. So in the beginning of your program, obviously they're preparing you, but I would say if you're someone like me who feels like, oh, you don't want to like put too much pressure on yourself, or just feel like, oh, you need more time, then go ahead and like do those NCLEX specific questions. Like, there's a difference between NCLEX questions and the questions that you get in your nursing school exams. I feel like those ones are low-key harder, but the NCLEX ones, I wouldn't say they're not as hard, but it's a lot more straightforward. Let's say that. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more straightforward. Like, the nursing school exams, they'll have you thinking about so many different things, but the NCLEX questions, they're straightforward. Like, it's really not all of that extra stuff. And then when September came around, then I added I think like 10, 20 more. So I gradually increased my increments as the months went by. So by the time November came, that was when I had purchased my UWorld. So I know a lot of people mention UWorld. I definitely second that because it is a great app. Like, they give you the NCLEX format, and I would say that the questions, though, they're a lot more how do I say, detailed, because like the NCLEX questions that I got, at least, they weren't as hard as the UWorld questions that I was getting. So, but I feel like that's good because it helps you like really prepare, and their rationales are great. Great. Especially if you're a visual learner like me. They have these very nice like pictures that show you like a breakdown of the disease process and exactly how like your nursing care, you know, is supposed to contribute. So yeah, like I was saying, that was really helpful for me to be able to see like different types of illustrations to describe like what they had written in the rationales, because it's one thing to read something, but then to see it, you know, it makes it so much better to like actually understand it, at least for me. So I really enjoyed using UWorld. So I had signed up for, I think, 2 months, because my graduation was in December 16, and I knew I wanted to take it in January. So I had signed up for a 2-month subscription, a 2-month subscription. And so from November to like mid-January-ish, I was going in like straight hardcore, like over 50 questions, over like it got to a point where I did like 150 questions in one day, because one, my subscription was about to end and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I get my money's worth. Like, I'm gonna finish all these questions. There's a 2,000 question bank, so I made sure I finished all of those questions because I was like, no, like no matter what, I need to finish these questions. So I believe once December came and graduation was over with, that's when I really had more time to apply myself. So at that point, I was doing 75 questions minimum every day. And when I say every day, I mean Monday through Friday. Like, I took weekends off because, like, you need to enjoy your life. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta enjoy your life. So I did 75 questions Monday through Friday and had Saturday and Sunday off. And then come January, which was when my exam was getting closer, I started doing 75 to 150, depending on like how many questions I had left in the bank and like when I wanted to finish the test bank. So when I finally got my attestation to test, which was I believe like a week after graduation, I went to schedule it. And originally the date that I had in my mind was January 19th. But when God has another plan, baby, he has another plan. Like, it doesn't matter what you think you're going to do. He's going to make you do something else. So I went on there to schedule. They didn't have, like, nowhere near that date available. They did have January 16th, I think, available. But I was like, ooh, that's a little bit too early for me. I felt like I still needed more time because, one, I wanted to make sure that I finished the 2,000 question bank on UWorld, and I was nowhere near done. So I was like, okay, that's too soon. So I just picked like the next available date, which was January 23rd. And so that's when I ended up taking my exam. Let me just give you guys some more resources. So this book right here, I don't know if you have seen it or have used it before, but it is pretty helpful for the most part. But I wouldn't like use this solely to study. Like, the only time I would open this book, to be honest, was when I needed like a deeper understanding, or if I wanted like, extra resources to use, because this textbook, it goes in depth. So like, you'll be reading about one topic for a long time. But if you really want like, a better understanding of something that you're confused on, I would definitely recommend this book as a resource. And then, so for my visual learners, another thing that I did was I would like write out concept maps. For those of you that know, you know. So this isn't the best one that I did, but here's an example. So this is for Addison's disease, and I basically just compared it to Cushing's, talking about like the manifestations, and then like little acronyms that you can use to memorize like the signs and symptoms. And then another thing, make sure you write notes, like take notes. These are my notes from the UWorld exams, and I have like so many of these papers. Like, I was literally going in. So I was taking notes, and as I was taking notes, I was making sure like I went through and reviewed what I still had questions about or what I didn't understand. And I'm not gonna lie, that was very, very, very time consuming. Like, I would literally study from morning to night. So yeah, be prepared for that. I'm not sure how everyone else's experience was, but for most people that I've heard from, you're gonna spend a lot of time studying, and that's okay. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yes, another resource that I highly recommend for my visual learners, simple nursing. Simple nursing. Don't play with them. Don't play with them, because they are like the best. Simple nursing for me, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to seeing pictures and animations, it just makes it click for me. Like, if you know, you know. But yeah, simple nursing, great, 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 great. Another resource that I highly recommend is Mark Klimek. I like his notes on a PDF that a friend shared with me. I'll add like a little clip of my notes somewhere over here for you guys to see what that looks like. But yeah, Mark Klimek and his lectures, I feel like also were very helpful. He gives you like, mnemonics. And then I found his lectures on YouTube, which was also very helpful because I went through them as I was listening to him speak, and then I would just like highlight the notes and stuff. Try to get like comfortable with test taking. Obviously in nursing school you take quite a few tests. So with the NCLEX specifically, so it's a computerized exam that is adaptive. The questions that you get goes based off of like your knowledge type of thing. So you want to gain as much confidence as you can. So when I was studying, I was basically just doing all of the practice questions, and then they have like this feature where you can create, your own flashcards on UWorld. So that was also really helpful for me. I think I had studied the flashcards that I had in my set like 2 days before my exam. What else? On your way to the exam, try to limit as many distractions or outside influences, because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like in, a situation like that where it's like a really like major event, your mind is already like going in so many different places. So for me, I try to, limit, like my outside interactions. Like, I spoke to my parents and my siblings, but like other than that, I didn't really want to be bothered. So, yeah. My exam was at 2:45 in the afternoon, so I had some time to rest, and I woke up at 8 a.m., made some breakfast, ran some errands, and then I left my apartment around 1:30. So I left my apartment around 1:30. Yeah, 1:30. And then I ended up driving to the place, which took me about 30 minutes, give or take. So I got there around 2. I didn't bring my phone with me because I didn't want that to be an issue. So I just left my phone in the car. I only brought my wallet, my ID, and myself basically. Also, for the exam, make sure that you wear something that isn't like too puffy or like I don't know how to describe it, but like I had this like sweater, long sweater, like one of those pullover sweaters, and they said that it's a good thing that it wasn't like too big, because apparently you can't wear like big jackets or anything in the exam room. I don't know. I guess they think you're gonna hide some notes under your pockets or something. But yeah, keep that in mind. So once you finish the whole check-in, they'll take your picture, and then they'll give you like a little box or whatever to put your phone, if you do bring it, your wallet and stuff, and then you put it in a little locker and you lock it away. So once that is done, there's someone that escorts you back into the area where you're gonna go take your test, and then they make you do like a whole little pat down. So I had glasses on at the time, and so they made me take off my glasses, and then she examined them to make sure they were not like tech classes or something, like something that you could get some type of answers from, I guess. So she did that, and then she made me take off my jacket again and pat down. And then what else? So when you get to the actual exam, right, there's like little dividers in between you and another person. So you'll be sitting in your own little pod, which is great because you don't want to see like, you know, what's going on beside you, because that's very distracting. I know for me, I heard people going in and out of the room. Even though I had noise canceling headphones on, I could still hear people going in and out of the room. And for me, that was a little bit like frustrating, but like at the end of the day, I kept reminding myself, okay, you need to focus on what's in front of you, not all that stuff that you're hearing behind you. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Despite what is going on, make sure that you focus on the exam, because that's what you're here for. Like, even if you hear somebody going in and out or talking in the hallway, just focus on what's in front of you, because at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. And if you do UWorld, I would say finish the question bank, but you don't have to. Like I've heard people, you know, pass without finishing the whole 2,000 question bank. So you don't have to do that, but I felt like it was really helpful. So that's what I did. And then I think while you're taking an exam, you get a break after like an hour. Well, they offer a break. You don't have to take it. I got offered a break at 1 hour and I declined it. And then I kept going for the next hour. And then I got offered a second break. So I actually took that one because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. So that was that. And then when I came back, I did a couple more questions and then my exam went black. And at that moment, I was like, but I was low-key like glad it was finally over because, child, it was just giving jump scare, like for real. But yeah, like the questions weren't that bad, but they weren't that easy either. So, I mean, I guess I was doing something. But yeah, so fast forward to the end of the exam, they give you like this little survey, which basically helps them, you know, for the next generation, because they're changing the format, I believe, in March. Yes, March or April of this year. So there was a survey asking about how, you know, those questions would be set up and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure how exactly, you know, this preparation would be different to the preparation for, you know, the new generation questions, but I have a feeling it'll be similar. For UWorld, for example, I'm pretty sure they're gonna update like their test bank to give you more new generation, you know, questions so that you can apply them when it actually comes to the exam. But basically, those questions were like select all that apply and multiple choice, but you had like multiple parts. So for those, you want to know how to really read carefully, because those questions, they have this like this little paragraph and you have to answer one part of that regarding that little paragraph. Well, they're talking about like the person's vital signs. And they're like, okay, which one would you report to the doctor? So like obviously you'll find the abnormal value and, you know, click that one. But then they'll give you that same paragraph and they want you to dig deeper into something else that might be wrong. And you're like, okay, what's really going on here? It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. You guys will do just fine. Through the exam, the waiting, guys, when I tell you the waiting is like the worst. Those 48 hours that you have to wait for your results, the level of anxiety that I had was like through the roof. Literally through the roof. Like, I don't know. Like, I was trying to distract myself as much as possible from thinking about that exam and how I did, but I just couldn't, like, And then I remember when I finished, I told myself, like when I got home, oh, I'm not gonna do the Pearson VUE trick. I'm not gonna do the Pearson VUE trick. It's like I don't want to like jinx it or anything like that, but I ended up doing it. Like I was like ready to cry my eyes out. Even on the way to the exam center, I was crying. Like if y'all would have seen me in the car, like I was having a very, very, very emotional moment. Not only because I was about to take my NCLEX, but because I just didn't know like what to expect. And I was just so terrified. Like I was just like, God, please, God, please, God, please. Fast forward, I think about maybe 36 hours later or so. I'm not even sure. I checked again. Still, results weren't available. So I waited the full 48 hours. So 2 days after the 23rd, so January 25th, I waited to check around 2 p.m. and my results were finally available. And they said you can pay for the quick results. So that's exactly what I did. And the quick result is only like $8. So I paid $8 to see my results, and by God's grace, I saw pass under that thing. I was like, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Like, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. I mean, some of you may know my journey, but for those of you who do not, like, it's been a long road. Like, it's been a long road. I started nursing school in, what, 2019? I've had so many issues. The fact that like I finally was able to get to this point where like I graduated nursing school, I took my exam, and now I'm a registered nurse. It's like appalling to me. Like God is so good. It's not even funny. Like I'm so grateful. And so I had checked it by myself because I don't know, for some reason I just felt like I needed to have that moment for myself before letting anyone else know. Some of the select all that apply, you'll have 5 answers and all 5 of them will be correct. So don't think, oh, there's only 2 right answers, 3 right answers, 4 right answers. All 5 of them could be right. So don't just, leave a couple out. So definitely another thing that I highly recommend is to create a study plan. So for me, as I mentioned earlier, I was doing like 75 questions once, November hit, Monday through Friday. And so basically my study plan was from 8 a.m. to about 3 p.m. I would do practice questions, and then after I did my practice questions, I would review them, like go through the rationales. So this would basically take me like the full 8 hours because as I was reviewing the questions, I was reading the rationales and taking notes. And for 75 questions, that's pretty time consuming. So you really want to make sure that you understand those questions that you got wrong and even the questions that you got right, because sometimes you guess them even though you don't know like what's actually going on. So read the rationales whether you got the question right or wrong. So I would basically study from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. My first set of questions would be like 25. So I would do 25 questions, and then after I did 25 questions, I would go back and review those 25 and take notes on them. So then for the next hour, it would be another 25 and then another 25 review. So that took me, give or take, 8 hours or so, depending on like how fast you review and process what you're reading. But for me, I really wanted to make sure that I understood what I was reading. So I would read the questions and the answers over and over and over again. And then I would write in-depth notes. Like I showed you guys some of the notes that I would take. Take your time. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush yourself on the questions. So then when I would do my first set of studying within 8 to 3 p.m. Then I would take like a 1 hour break. If I was really tired, I would take like a nap or, watch a, a little show or something. So I would take a 1 hour break. And then come 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's when I would do my next set of questions, which was just another question bank and another review session. So literally when I tell you I was studying from morning to night, that's 12 hours right there. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, it's serious. So, I mean, obviously you would be able to create your own study plan and choose what works best for you to help you understand like how exactly that study plan worked. So basically, say for example, if I started at 8 a.m., right? I would do a question bank. So say 25 questions within 40 to 45 minutes. So I need to finish 25 to 30 questions within 45 minutes. That's how much time I give myself. So after 45 minutes is up, then I get a 15-minute break within that 1 hour time span. So I would basically break up my studying by the hour. So in between those hours, I would get 15 minutes break and 40 to 45 minutes of studying. So depending on how many minutes I did to study, say for example, if I did 45 minutes to take a question bank, then I would get a 15-minute break because 45 minutes plus 15 minutes equals 1 hour. But if I did only 40 minutes of studying, then I would get a 20-minute break. So depending on how fast like I finished the questions, that gave me more time to, breathe in between, the next set. That's it for today's video. I really hoped you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and share it with a friend because why not? But yeah, seriously though, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and share it with a friend. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you do well on the NCLEX. You got this. Bye. See you guys next time.
I believed all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart.